All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the Reinvent Hunt podcast. Tonight we have Durk Stark. He's representing Ballista Crossbows on, and Durk, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Been a
Doing
while.
doing well. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a minute. We've been all been busy. It's been crazy hot here in Ohio. I mean, I the point where I usually have some blinds or stands up, but it's been heat indices of like pushing 100 degrees, and you walk out on the front porch and you just start sweating all over the place. And it seems like the older I get, the more I sweat and the more disgusting I am. So it's like I don't want to go out there and hang that stuff right now. No, wait until it cools off. How about you
Right,
out there?
we did the Minnesota State Fair on this weekend, and it was 105 heat index. And
Uh,
I really like to go to that stuff, really a whole bunch. No, I don't. And so my wife is there, and she's like, "We got to do this. We got to do this." And so I just kept pushing her, and by 11:30 she was done, and I just kept pushing her a little bit more. I said, Do you think we should go next year?" And she said, "No way, we're done for at least 5 years." I was like, "Oh no."
you don't want to like walk around dripping sweat into your elephant
Right.
ear. It is.
Right. No, but yeah, the weather's been crazy. I have that ranch out in the Black Hills, and normally it's really, really dry out there and nothing too crazy. But we were out there and we set everything, tree stands and ground blinds. The tornadoes came through and wiped out everything. So I had to
Wow.
go back out and reset stuff. So we were hanging tree stands. It was, 98, 103 degrees out there and just crazy. But I had a good buddy come out and help, and we got it put to bed. And now actually Joe Maxfield is out there. He just killed a nice antelope out there, and his son's going to be working on one Friday.
No, that's awesome. It reminds me of that new movie Twisters. You see that, you get, a little PTSD with the wind coming through there and taking all your blinds and throwing them miles away, that sort of thing.
Right. Like, I mean, these are hard side lines. I mean, they weren't pop-ups. And I
Yeah.
mean, many of them we can't even find scratch.
Wow.
I mean, they're long gone. Crazy.
That is
Yeah.
incredible.
So nuts. But
Yeah.
hopefully it'll settle down here soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, we had about 3, 4 days of really cool fall weather, real crisp mornings. It felt like bow hunting weather. You felt like you want to get out in the woods, and kind of went back into a really really hot spell here. And I think it's going to cool off again next week. So the deer have been slow. I mean, it's that time of year. There's not a lot of buck action. Sometimes I'll drive around late evenings, just kind of it's too hot to get out and do much on foot scouting, but drive around the fields, look at the edges, and just kind of watch. You've always seen a bunch of does and little ones, and nothing real big yet, moving around too much, but I'm
Hmm.
sure before long we'll see some, field edge action here.
Yeah, water is gold for us. I mean, water for us out there is better than a Iowa food plot any day. And so our places we've got water on the deer and the antelope are coming in pretty hard.
That makes total sense. Well, I can't
Yeah.
wait to talk about our focus tonight. Ballista Crossbows. We've been wanting to have you on and talk about these crossbows. They're a really interesting model, really interesting design, and so I'm gonna kind of let you take it over. I want to introduce everybody to kind of what Ballista is, the company, and what they make.
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you that I was an anti-crossbow person for years.
Uh
And that's where it started. I was just like, no way.
yeah,
Crossbows are the death of archery and stuff like that. But if you look around my office, I mean, I've got gearhead compound bows here. I've got a Matthews. I've got an Elite. I've got trad bows. I've got long bows, and I've got crossbows. And
sure,
I switch back and forth all the time and hunt. It doesn't limit me. And the crossbows from Ballista. They're a company out of Florida, and I met them at ATA 2 years ago and really helped kind of push them over the edge. And this first one here, I'll show you. This is the bat crossbow. It's a pistol crossbow, really compact, and sells for like under $300. And
okay,
this particular one shoots about 280, something like that. And with a 13-inch 1.66 micro diameter bolt. And we put a bow fishing head on here. I shoot prairie dogs at the ranch with this. You can kill turkeys with this. You could kill a deer if you're like 10 or 15 yards, but I wouldn't recommend it. This one we just really call, this is kind of our backyard target
sure.
bow fishing. You can put a bow fishing reel on this, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun. The key to this is really, I'll show you this. This is how you cock this. So you see this little, it's like like a lawnmower pull start, right?
Yeah,
So you just
yeah,
you just literally pull it like that to cock it. And now you see how compact that is, right?
Yeah, it
And
did
that's
really.
really the cool thing about it. And then to decock it, the safety's on when you pull it, right? So I put the safety off, pull it back, pull the trigger, and I can pull it down to decock
Oh,
it.
that's really
So
nice. It's simple.
very, 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 very easy to use. And actually, you put a red dot on here, and at 25 yards, you're shooting little $half circles. Then the one that we have a lot of fun with, this is the reverse bat. So you can see the limb structure is in reverse, right? And you can put a red dot on here. You can put a thermal on it, a regular crossbow scope with a reticle. And as you see, we have a stock on it. And some I'll have a
Okay.
foldable stock option. I like the fixed stock option, even though it's not quite as compact, but it's really stable. So we're shooting this out to, 35, 40 yards when when we're tuning the bolts and stuff like that. But what's cool about it is that you can put it's got a Picatinny rail mount here on it, and literally you can put your bow fishing reel on it, or you can take it off just like that. Really, really easy. And so now you can go from hunting to bow fishing, whatever. And we're shooting with this crossbow. We've killed hogs with it, pass through and hogs, 160-inch whitetail in Maryland, deer, no problem, bear. We're bow fishing alligator gar with it. I'm shooting 40-pound carp with it. Um, again, prairie dogs with it, turkeys. We have guides and outfitters that actually use the foldable stock so it goes in their backpack. So they can, when they're running dogs, they just pull it out of their pack and whack a bobcat or mountain lion out of the tree with it. So
Okay.
very cool. This shoots, some of the stuff on the internet or original boxes said 420 feet per second. That was with an ultralight practice bolt coming from the manufacturer overseas. And I've been really adamant about people about, hey, you know what? In realistic
Right.
terms, this shoots about as fast as my Matthews does. It has, when you pull it back, this is about a 48-pound pull to cock it, just like that. And same thing, it cocks, and you see how compact that is. To decock it again, take safety off, pull it back, boom, like that. Very, very easy, accurate. And now in many states, anyone can use this at any time during the archery season. Minnesota and Wisconsin are that way. And literally, my 3-year-old grandson loves to shoot this. I put it on a tripod, mount the Picatinny rail mount on a tripod. And he's like, again, 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 right?
That kids
No,
love shooting crossbows.
and it's not. Um, I've shot crossbows before and tried things, and you probably have, Raven or some of the other ones, and you put your hands up and you kind of pull the trigger, and you're like, this
You
thing
win.
is gonna explode, right? You
Yeah,
just feel
yeah.
like it's just gonna blow up and make a lot of noise, right? And this is just like, it's almost like sniper. It's a lot quiet, a lot less volatile. And it's just so much fun to shoot. When we talk to retailers about this, I tell them order 3 times as many bolts as you normally do when you're buying crossbows, because people are going to lose them. They're going to have so much fun shooting them at squirrels, at chipmunks, at
Yeah.
anything else, and they're going to lose them. Unlike,
Yeah.
traditional wise, you get 3 bolts, you shoot it 2 times a year, and you've still got 3 bolts 4 years later,
Right. Exactly.
because you don't shoot it as much. And it's just a lot of fun
So
to shoot.
is that the one you have in your hand now,
So,
the reverse bat, one you have right now, is that what's
yep.
the speed of that compared to the pistol crossbow? Are they the same?
Um, it's the pistol. What did I say? I think this one is actually this is close to about 280. The other one's about 220, something
Okay.
like that. And so this with kinetic energy, if I put the and this I just did this for the state of Minnesota, when I put the stainless steel inserts on it, um, and our 1.66 bolts, 13-inch bolts on it, I'm getting about 40 to 42 pounds kinetic energy out of it, which
Okay.
is totally fine. Obviously, with a short power stroke like that, after 30 yards, you're really losing a lot of that kinetic energy. But how many
Oh, we lost audio here.
how many bow
There you
hunters have shots, less more than 30 yards, you know. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for, and this crossbow sells for just under $500,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
so you've got something very accessible, lightweight, compact for the average person. And then we've got this crazy thing here. This is called the Megabat this year.
Is that
And
the new one there?
Yeah, this is a full-size crossbow. This shoots a little over 400 feet per second. You see, I actually put a Huskema long-range crossbow scope on it to use a turret on it to shoot out to 150 yards.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
this will go head-to-head against any of the top crossbows on the market. And what's cool about it, again, this has a dual handle cocking thing because it takes a little bit more power to do that. Again, the stock, but you can get ones without the stock option, but it's just more stable. And I'm having a blast. This one retails for just under $1,000. So
Okay.
in comparatively other crossbows that are shooting that 400 plus with accuracy, easy to use.
Very rifle, yeah.
You know, yeah, very, very in that marketplace. So they also make a mount they call it Mighty Tactical. It mounts to your pick rail mount, and then I can put this on an Arca Swiss tripod. So then I can mount it on any tripod without a clamp.
Nice. That's really nice to have that.
So
That's
so
smart.
yeah. So lots of cool things that we're doing and having fun with it.
So I will say I like the draw mechanism. I know, some of the crossbows that I've used in the past, they have the cocking cables. It's really awkward. It's weird to kind of get around
Right.
something. You got to be careful it's not the scope mount, and you have to kind of lean back into it, and you have to be fairly strong to get it cocked. But that seems like it's a pretty nice system to get cocked in the ballista.
Right. And with other crossbows, there's kind of a triangle of death. You don't want to get your hand in that triangle of death,
Yeah.
and a lot of them have a much bigger area, right? But when I pull this back, I mean, if I go to cock this again, you can see that triangle of death really is
Small.
from here to here. There, I mean, it's only about this wide,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry. So it does come with a different option here instead of the pick rail and the handguard like this. There is a handguard that mounts directly to it with a wider thing for fingers and thumbs. But if you keep your hand on here, you're not going to have any issues with it. And yeah, I mean, I take this out for turkey hunting, deer hunting. Again, we shoot prairie dogs. It's so fun to shoot prairie dogs at 35 and 40 yards quietly because they have no idea where the thing is coming from.
Yeah, yeah. This I actually was thinking about the ballista. It was late spring. We did some bow fishing down there for snakeheads, and we're using the traditional bow fishing setup, and missing every shot. Not used to refraction, things like that, or just not used to moving boats in general. But and it was kind of hard because there was a lot of vegetation growth. So seeing them was hard, and then by the time you saw them, the boats moving past, we're trying to get a shot. It was a difficult hunt, but I was thinking, that reverse bat having a sight on it, and I know it goes against the traditional,
right.
What would you call it? Like traditional shooting techniques of just
right.
feeling the shot, not having practiced that much instinctive shooting. Yeah, trying to think the word instinctive. Sometimes, to be more efficient, it'd be a lot better chance to be able to get that snakehead and a good shot at it, having a little crossbow like that.
Well, we've even made it more interesting because they've actually came out with a green light laser that can mount on here, and you can put it on, and so that laser refracts with the water too.
Okay.
So you can put the laser right on the fish. If you sight it in for 10 yards, which is bow fishing, you can just put it on the fish. And then there's a guide here called Central Minnesota bow fishing, and his team actually won the state bow fishing tournament last year. And he guides all over the place. He actually has these for his boat now because for safety wise, he likes it because it's more compact. You don't have a long arrow sticking out for danger, and people aren't swinging all over the place. But it's cool is if you're bow fishing, this is just like your pass shooting ducks because you're swinging on the fish.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even think.
Different experience.
So you're telling me that the green laser light will refract at the same refractive angle that you'll need to impact the fish, and you can actually put it right on that.
Right on the fish. You don't have to worry about shooting low or high.
Okay, and I'm not gonna. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna I don't want to get into the cheating because there's gonna be someone out there that's gonna say, Josh, Durk, this is totally
So
cheating. I'll tell
what?
you what,
You're shooting fish.
yeah, you're having fun, you're getting fish, and I try, instinctive. My dad and I are both instinctive shooting down there, not having a ton of experience, and we came up literally empty-handed after traveling to Maryland after snakehead.
Right.
We had some pretty good shots, even though it was difficult. But with one of those, like you're saying, like the effective rate is just so high at being able to harvest those.
Right. Yeah. And again, the fastness, people say, oh, you crossbow, they think in traditional where you need string to reload. Literally, I mean, I could shoot, reload, crank it up and reload just as fast as anyone else can with an EMS reel.
Sure, that makes sense.
It's crazy.
Now, have
It's
you
crazy.
ever? I don't know if it's legal or not because I have no idea how it works with prey dogs. You ever shoot a prey dog with like a bow fishing reel and hang on to it? Like I don't know. Is that not legal? Is that across the line?
No, I haven't tried that. There may be some other critters that I have.
Okay. Okay. We don't have to get too far down the rabbit hole with that.
Right.
But I think it's always an interesting thing to see the different setups people use because it's fascinating to me, depending on what species you're hunting, what you can use to hunt it with. And, for everyone out there looking at these Ballista crossbows, like I think it's an important point to talk about tonight. Know what game you're hunting, know what effective range your equipment can do. Let's all be reasonable out there because I still see people, that it's always, like you intro with, roasting people for the crossbows. And I'm like, you know what? At 43, my vertical bow pins are getting a little hard to see. My eyes are getting a little weird where like, that depth perception isn't as keen as it used to be. And my dad's moved to a crossbow now, and I know that eventually, to continue my hunting career, to enjoy getting out there and harvesting game, I will be using a crossbow at some point in time down
here. Yeah, I had 3 different friends ask me tonight about if we had a full size crossbow for Ballista yet, and I said, of course we do. But the other one, I really have a lot more fun with the small one because you can pack it in easier.
Yeah, for sure.
You just don't have all that bulk, especially, Minnesota here, gets 25 below in December. So when you're with a whole bunch of clothes on to try to bow hunt quietly and find your anchor point, your accuracy goes down so much because of all that other stuff, as well as even just being able to draw your bow, when you're really cold and stiff and extra clothes on. This gives you a much cleaner, accurate, shot, more ethical shot. And so,
absolutely.
I just think it is about really knowing the limits that you have. I mean, I've got friends that shoot 120 yards with their compound. I'm like, not me. I'm about 60. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good because that's where I know I can be consistent. So it's just everyone has to know that.
Yeah, and us in Ohio, I think most Ohio hunters would say if you're a compound hunter, we usually, unless you're in an open field, 40 yards in the woods in Ohio is kind of pushing it. 40 is a pretty long shot for a compound bow in Ohio. And then of course you get out in the field, you can extend it a little bit further, but you're not, your margin of error is always going to be there depending on what you're using. Of course, it has to do with the broadhead as well. You want to talk about, kinetic energy to open blades and things like that. And of course, you want the most efficient you can. And flight dynamics do matter. But I was just talking to a guy tonight actually about mechanicals versus fixed blades, and I said, I love a great fixed blade. We have a Carnivore V2 coming out this next year, and it's going to be a really great fixed blade. Of course, a close mechanical is already doing steel, but for me, I prefer the knowledge of there's not a blade hanging out in the air to plane, catch air, catch wind, and I don't want to deal with matching and clutching. So it seems like regardless of what I use, an arrow, I'm always tooling and tweaking these fixed blades to get them to fly perfectly. And fixed blades fly pretty good most of the time, but they just can never fly like
you're just not using the right veins.
It must be what it is. That's got to be what it is. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. But I was talking to a guy tonight about crossbows, and he said, my kids use a crossbow, and I use vertical bow, and I said, well, it's nice to be able to take a broadhead, screw it on, and go, and not have to think too much. I think sometimes in the woods we're so caught up with everything else, and you don't get a chance to really think about. I'm
going to show you my quiver.
Okay, you grab it.
You're gonna where's it at here? Oh yeah, here it is. So, and I didn't even set this up.
Yeah, but the close broadheads in there.
Right.
And now, how do those work out? How do they fly?
So here's what with the traditional 2-vane setup on these, a Clovis flies just great. But what I've done, and Albert and I are kind of playing with is
Oh,
we
okay.
had a third vane, you know, because you can't do it with ours because it flies this way. So you can't put one down in the thing. So we
Sure.
put one forward. Even though it's awkward like that, we get much better flight at 30 and 40 yards with that. And kind of Joe Maxfield's a good friend, and he's like, okay, however many blades you have on the front, you need that much steering on the back to do that. So if you don't have a lot of big blades on the back, 2 or small blades is fine. But if you get to a fixed or 3 blade fixed, you need more vane. And so with the fixed, you know, I definitely run that third vane on a fixed blade head on it. So it's just, you know, one of those things. But that's some modifications that we've learned. You know, at 20 yards, the two vane is fine. But if you want to try to shoot a little farther, again, you want to tighten your group, add a third vane.
That's interesting. I've never really shot 2 vanes. I know some people that shoot 4 too, and to me, I think 4 is a little too much. It's a little bit too much drag for me. Oh, we lost your audio again there, Durk.
Oh,
there you are. Now you're back.
Still there?
Yeah, you're back now. Yep.
Yeah,
for just a split second.
Yeah, no, on my compound, I shoot 4 vanes, but I shoot 4 smaller vanes.
Yeah. Okay.
But on the crossbow, only 3 on it. So again, I won't show any particular kind of vanes.
No, no product placement at all or anything. Right? Yeah.
Right.
That sounds like a great little setup. You've got, you know, low kinetic energy head. You've got a crossbow that's able to pump out, you know, what you need to get the job done. And I think I think one thing with crossbows that does scare me, I'll say it out loud, is, you know, the cocking of the crossbow really does matter. So if you have a kid out there and you're trying to deal with a cable cocking mechanism, you know, sometimes they have the winch crank cockers right out there, cocking mechanisms. But the cable cocking mechanism, man, if you don't have that right, and if it's sitting on your scope mount and it's not in the proper position, it actually can be really dangerous for people to cock those crossbows. So I like how Ballista has that handle to pull back and all the models. That's a really good feature. Yeah, answer. You have your audio still? Well, I think we lost your audio again.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
What the heck?
I don't know. Kind of like flips in and out a little bit. Not sure why.
I don't know. I hear someone. Oh, I wonder if my wife. I hear someone talking in the background. Do you hear that?
No, I can't hear that. No, I can't hear that.
Someone is picking up on something. I'm gonna get rid of this. Where's my audio here?
I can hear you well now. I can hear you really well.
Okay.
Oh, you flipped out again. Let's see. I don't know if we can hear you.
Hold on.
Okay, there you are. There you are.
There
you are. Well, I did hear you.
Yeah, that's weird.
You're back. You're back. Now you're back.
I can still hear something in the background. I don't know what it is.
Okay. It might be people here too. There's some people in the background across the room.
Oh, yeah.
So talking about the season you have out there, like what all are you guys hunting? Were you hunting personally, and like how's that look?
Yeah, well, you know, there at the ranch there we got antelope, whitetail, and mule deer, and Miriam turkeys. So right now it's antelope season out there, and I've got to get back out there. But September 1 we have velvet season opens up for mule deer and whitetail.
Okay.
So, yeah, so pretty excited about that. I've got a bunch of different hunters coming in, some friends, all that kind of stuff, and we've got some nice mule deer on camera, and actually a really nice 13-point whitetail right now on camera. And I got to get back at a lot of cameras I don't have cell signal for, so looking forward to pull some cards on those.
Yeah, it's always fun to have cell cams out when you can. I know sometimes it takes time to get equipment out, but then you get those updated pictures, and it's always exciting to see what's coming through and where you can catch them too. I know I've put cameras out before, and it's like in one place, you know, 20 yards, 30 yards away, I'm getting a lot more pictures over here for some weird reason. Maybe it's a path or body of water or river or something, cutting them off, and they don't go 20 yards away. So it's not always effective having cameras out unless you have in the right spot too. I know how that works.
No, try running cameras on 20,000 acres.
Can't imagine. I can't imagine that. Yeah, you go mostly water holes, or how's that work?
We do waters, we do draws, as many pinch points as we can find as possible. It's what it is. We've got food plots that we bring, but food plots out there are, very sparse compared to Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa food plots, but they still bring in, critters that we watch critters come in, 3 to 5 miles for water every day.
Wow. That's that's different than us. That's way different. Not used to that.
Yeah, right. So, living here, it's hard. It sounds kind of arrogant, but hunting in Minnesota, if you've got less than 400 acres, all you're doing is just pass through. It's like ice fishing, you're sitting in your stand just waiting for something.
Yeah.
You can't pattern anything, and especially in rut. But out there, you're watching deer, you're identifying your deer from 3 to 5 miles away, and you can actually pattern them, especially with no pressure. So that makes it a lot. Yeah.
That long range hunting is something that, Ohio, we're not quite used to. And it's amazing. You go around the world, you hunt these different scenarios. I think that's another thing to explain to people out there tonight. And that is, you learn so much. I mean, it doesn't matter how you hunt, wherever your home base is, any animal and species you go hunt in a different environment, you're probably going to hunt them in a totally different way.
Oh yeah. I've got schooled out there something fierce. And, I take a lot of advice from the hunters that come out there, and, like Joel Maxfield is out there right now, and he's, gives me a lot of advice. Skip from Gearhead, the guys from Deer and Deer Hunting Magazine, the guys from Analogics, and all that feedback. I'm just taking it in like fun. So, yeah,
absolutely. So as far as kind of talking about a different topic a little bit and moving forward, talking about maybe family life in general, and like as we all get more seasoned, if you will, a little bit older as we hunt, what are you
talking about? What are you talking about?
I know, right? I feel too. That's like at 43. Like I said, the easy to me a lot more. But what has changed for you in your tactic or your approach as you've been hunting for quite a while in your life now, as you get more seasoned with the sport?
Yeah, I don't hate animals as much as I used to.
They don't frustrate you as much.
Well, they still do, but I don't feel like I have to get out and just kill. It's my days of hunting, out at the ranch, I probably get 3 or 4 days a season out there that I can hunt by myself.
Okay.
I just love hunting with the friends that are out there and finding the stalks and stuff like that. That's a blast, So
you feel like I do. I know. I think I can parallel you in this. Like the camaraderie of the hunt, the experience of the hunt, the meals together. I see you always grilling steak and some really, really good meals out there. I think for me, like that starts to build more into your lifestyle, right? Like it's less, like you said, less about the kill and more about the time with friends out doing fun things.
Well, I tell people at the ranch that come out, they're like, "Hey, what's your kill success rate?" And I just go, number one, you're probably not the person for me out there. And then I say, well, here's the deal. I've never been to a guide outfitter. I don't kill big critters, and I'm not a very good shot, but come on out. We'll have a good time.
Absolutely. I love that.
People will say, all right.
Yep. Good meal. Hey, get a good meal in your belly, get a good night's sleep, and good friends. Right. Everything's a memory and adventures. I appreciate that more than anything. I know, like even here in Ohio this year, I told people I'm probably going to be pushing out a little bit later just with the heat and everything. And quite honestly, like that Halloween time for us is when I call, I say the monsters come out on Halloween. It's really before that, you're battling mosquitoes and it's hot and you're sweating to get in the stand and trying to block scent and that sort of thing. And it just becomes frustrating more than anything. And you don't see a whole lot of shooters usually early unless you're lucky and you pattern one. But I think holding off and waiting more toward Halloween, then you don't lose that passion. You kind of get burned out if you go out like every day, all the time early season. And I think if I could hold off a little more, get a little bit older, a little bit easier for me to do, and get out when it's more comfortable to sit too.
Yeah, I actually like hunting more in August and September than I do in November and December like I used to, or January. That 25 below.
Yeah.
It's just really fun to hunt in, right?
No, I respect that too on the other end.
Right.
Absolutely.
So plus, traveling and stuff like that, blizzards and stuff. Plus, obviously, December, January, November, that's trade show season and getting ready for trade show season. I don't have time for any of that stuff. There's no play time then.
Yep, totally understand that.
Yeah.
Well, Durk, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and talking about the Ballista Crossbow models. I think they're a great weapon out there to choose from. You've got different speeds, different environments you can use them in. I think they're a great economical way to get people out hunting. And like the bow fishing situation, I think that'd have been awesome for me to have in Maryland. I'd have definitely appreciated having those down there on those snakeheads. It would have been a lot more effective for us, I can tell you that.
Right. No, so sounds good.
All right, thanks, Dirk.
All right, take care, Josh.
Take care, appreciate it.
Bye.